Hold on a second. Okay, so what I wanted to, I mean, look, we're going to talk the Mirrorverse, but I think obviously we can take that in some different directions a little bit than what's been the main discourse. But then I also kind of specifically, I want to talk about, we can move on from there, then we can move on to some highlights if you want, but of the show. But I also just kind of want to talk about, like, are award shows like this even sustainable anymore? Like, are they, like, what's realistic about them pertaining like this? And we can talk about, like, how the Globes had to do theirs, and then, what happens at the Oscars. And then, like, are they sustainable in this way? What function do they still serve? And then the antithesis of that being, and then especially all those questions, then factoring in, where do black folks fit in? Like, where, like, if we're going to continue to do this kind of thing, then what's the benefit of black people still being participants, showing up, that kind of a thing. I just want to talk through that with you, if that's cool with you. Right. Absolutely. So, I think I got all of the technical stuff. Mike is live. Thank you. Might as well go ahead. Thank you, Hero Wing. I appreciate that. Yeah. You get a little behind the scenes, just a little bit. Bricks, we are live.
All right.
What up, homie?
That's good. Sorry, y'all caught me moving my shit around. My shot is, like, so not dynamic anymore because I had to redo my whole office because of Hurricane Ida.
And you've had, other priorities because, use a mama since the last time we seen you on these Twitch streets. It's been a minute.
It really has, but that's why I had to bounce, because that pregnancy nausea was taking me out, man.
That's real.
I spent the whole 9 months throwing up the whole time. 38 weeks of vomiting. That's what I get.
That hurts my heart.
They're like, oh, it stops after the second trimester. I got 2 weeks of, like, feeling fine, and then that was it. And then it was like, congratulations, welcome back to throwing up.
We're gonna give you a brief reprieve so you can, like, survive. Right. And then after that, we just gonna get right back.
Talking about eating for 2, I could barely eat for 1.
You couldn't keep it down for 2. That's for damn sure.
No, I think it's because my son was head down, so he was kicking me in my stomach.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, so if I did anything he didn't like, he was like, no, mommy, yeah. No.
What's up, Tiffy? Thank you for the silent support. We are trying to fill in your stead. You usually holding down this Monday night with Greater Plum, so we can't replace you, but we're gonna try to keep it moving a little bit. Brittany.
Will.
So, I knew our own TV Star Child, who is doing, I think she said on stream, so I don't think it's a secret. She's doing actress things right now. Ooh, doing actress things. So she wasn't going to be able to be here tonight. And I was like, man, okay, so we don't have a stream tonight. No big deal. But I was like, of course, everyone's talking about the Oscars. I was like, I actually have a free night. First person, the only person, I was like, let me see if Brittany is around to talk about the Oscars, because Brittany is an actress, has been doing this forever, knows so much more about this than me, than most folks, and I just really enjoy your perspective talking actorly things, right? So, I mean, I know where we're gonna go first, but is there anything you want to talk about before we go to the thing?
Man, this was a chaotic Oscars show. It was just chaotic all around, like just layers and layers and oodles and boodles of chaos, just in so many different ways. And I found myself very confused. But yeah, I mean, it tracks that what happened. So,
but also, like, when you say chaos, like, and this is something we'll get into because I want to talk about, award shows in general. But, look at what the Golden Globes had to do this year.
Bruh,
right?
That's what they get. That's what you get for being racist, Golden Globes. And
Right.
I know people were upset because, like, for the attendees, the Golden Globes was just, you show up to this award show, they feed you and get you drunk, and then they give you awards.
Right.
Like,
Not a bad.
that's
not a
an
bad way to
ideal
go.
night. Right. Who wouldn't love to do that? So I know people were upset, and like, they didn't just like, oh, we got to scale down to only an hour, or, we're going to broadcast on like this off night. They went straight to, we're just going to tweet out the winners. Like, how the mighty have fallen.
Oh my God.
That's just
right.
right.
Tweet
But,
out the winners. Like, not even hiring someone to like host abroad. Right. Just
right. You can not even doing it on Twitch or doing like a live stream or like dusting off Periscope and doing it on that. Like, y'all just hitting send.
So someone
They just
was
sitting in the
literally-
office with a keyboard. Somebody did it from home.
It'd be so sad if someone was doing that from their mobile. Like, it wasn't even from a PC or laptop. Like, someone was just like on their iPhone, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if there was an iPhone tag, like tweeting from iPhone 4, I would have lost all my shit.
Oh man, the only thing that would have made it better if they were tweeting it from a BlackBerry.
Right. Like the fourth
Throwback.
assistant down, we had to get a hold of.
Tweeting from my sidekick.
So, I mean, I brought up the Golden Globes, and we'll talk more about that later, but I brought that up to be like, the Oscars or the award shows are not trending in the right way. Let's just say that, right? And I think all entertainment events are kind of going through this reckoning of how to stay relevant, how to stay entertaining, right? And also, if we're talking about the pragmatic side of it, these things cost a gazillion dollars to put on, right? Yep. And so I have to wonder what the aim is often, and what kind of return they're actually looking for, right? Like, we keep talking about the award shows, and maybe not last night, for reasons we'll obviously talk about, but we keep talking about award shows and like the ratings going down from the previous year and all this other stuff, but they cost so much money to make. DJ Dimple Brooklyn rating us. That is our homie Natasha that streams for us. And I know Omar was playing some WWE, so thank you for bringing the crew with you.
Yes.
Good to see y'all. Tanan, DJ Dimple, thank you for coming in. We ain't gotten to the meaty stuff yet, so you ain't missed.
No, we haven't. We still talking about the the cerebral.
You know what I'm saying? We doing what would usually be the Golden Globes, like appetizers, right? Like when they gonna feed you, get you drunk, right? We just getting the appetizers, right?
Right.
So what was I saying? So I think it's got to be super expensive, obviously, to put these productions on.
I mean, it's not. Well, I think it's less expensive than we would think. It's also expensive for the attendees because
that's real.
You're responsible for all of your expenses for your outfit. Some people may get something loaned, but other people have to like stuff.
That's crazy.
Getting there, I guess the most, they give out gift bags, so those are usually very expensive, but I don't think that they pay presenters or anything like that.
Right.
And then they have, of course, their like production staff and crew, the sets that they build and whatever, that weird seating that they laid out. Like it is expensive and it's time consuming and it's all these other things, but I don't think it's any more expensive than like a TV show or something.
Right. Yeah, and so I just bring that up to say there always has to be, or the talks have to be getting more intense about, is it even worth doing what we usually do every year, right? We've had this whole thing with the rotating hosts and all of that, and now, you know, we kind of had the 3-person host, which from what I watched was, they should have just had Regina, yo. They just had Regina. Like,
they could, I mean, Regina and Wanda have really great chemistry. It was Amy. Amy Schumer was no.
And I remember like, Leah and I were talking about that, and I remember thinking, I was like, I feel like if they just trusted Regina enough, we wouldn't have this situation, right? Like, even Regina and Wanda.
They don't trust Black women. They don't, because this also isn't the first time they had a trio hosting.
Right.
So.
But I remember seeing that lineup, and I was like, okay, Wanda, but like Wanda's, you know, and Regina's been around for a while, but Regina has still, weirdly, I think because she's super underappreciated, she kind of has this rising fandom a little bit, which is weird because how long she's been in the game, but she's kind of getting recognized more now. So I feel like I would have been fine with her just hosting, but I feel like they looked at it like,
it's because her early career was as a Black woman in Black movies, so she was Black. She's Black famous,
and not
so
necessarily serious Black movies, right? Like you have a lot of because all the comedic roles and things like that. So yeah, I feel you.
She's amazing. She's one of the most talented actresses in the business.
She really is.
She really
is. And so
you're from Scary Movie. Do the Black thing from Scary Movie.
Right. Can you recreate the popcorn meme? Like, we love that. We share that in our office. We share that in our Slack all the time. So and so I feel like she's super underappreciated in that. And so that would have been nice. But okay. Let's talk about Will and Chris. So
okay, yes.
I mean, do you want to open up this salvo? I mean, I just kind of want to uncork this and like kind of get it over with, but I'm actually excited to talk about it with you. So
yeah. So here's the thing. So we're so used to seeing like staged fights and everything that I think we all collectively have a skewed visual and auditory memory of what actual hits look and sound like, because it sounded fake and it kind of looked fake at first when it happened, but neither one of them are that good of an act. Like Will and Chris, they are not, their acting is not good enough to have sold that if it was fake.
I mean, but also, so here's the thing. Okay, we're gonna take a quick tangent here, and it's weird to say this because he literally won an Oscar last night. Will could have been a great actor. Will has the talent to be a great actor, and Will has given great performances.
Yeah, he has.
But he fell in love with being Will Smith as opposed to being the best performance that he can muster in whatever film it is, right? Like you can't. Yeah. I guess you see the nuance in this. So let me ask you this question. What's the difference between, and please folks don't take this as any slander because he's still my favorite actor, alive, dead, whatever. People have a similar criticism of Denzel. Denzel ends up being Denzel in certain roles and films like that. Now I would say go watch Macbeth because that shit is crazy good, right? But people have had that criticism of Denzel in a few films of like Denzel ends up becoming Denzel and yada yada. Yeah. What do you see as the difference in terms of their arc, in terms of how they approach a performance, in terms of where that criticism comes from? And maybe you don't think that criticism is valid at all for Denzel. I don't know.
I think, and I'm getting this from someone else, but I believe it's true. I think Will is more focused on being liked. so he won't allow himself as an actor to show ugly sides of himself necessarily. Denzel will get ugly and evil, and he will, which is, I think there's a huge difference there, and it's a vulnerability, and openness, and you have to kind of often a good actor has to reveal not so pretty parts of themselves in the name of telling the story. So
and for Will, that's not unique, right? Like in terms of in acting, like this was a thing said about, I'm just throwing it, like Tom Cruise, right? Like Tom Cruise
definitely wants to be liked.
Doesn't want to be, if it's a villain role, it's got to be a super cool, you know what I mean? Like that's where I see Will. So I think I completely agree with you on that. I don't feel for as long as Will's been in the business, and granted, you kind of have to put that on a curve because he came into the business so young, right? In perspective, for as long as he's been in the business and as many roles he has that people can name, I don't feel like the industry treats him with the kind of reverence he probably thinks he deserves. Right?
No, of course
not.
Like
Samuel Jackson just got, we could talk about how that should have been actually part of the Oscars, and mind-blowing that they did that shit like on a Saturday or whatever it was, right?
Well, I feel like they never really give out the honorary Oscars during the ceremony. They're always like, oh yeah, we gave these out 2 days ago. Wasn't that nice?
Right. And like that, if you're the producer, you got to read the tea leaves on this. Like, Denzel Washington is going to present an award to Samuel Jackson. Like, one, the gravity of that. Two, it's Samuel Jackson and Denzel. You actually don't know what might happen. Like that.
Right. Instead, we got a fucking SPCA ad with a terrified dog talking about, in honor of Betty White, just adopt the dog. Like, what?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
We could have seen Hans Zimmer win his first Oscar, but now we got to talk about adopting dogs during the in memoriam. Like, it's the in memoriam. Just be quiet and play some music. Like Jill Scott sing. Why y'all bring Jill Scott all the way here just to have her say one sentence and leave?
That is ridiculous. And I want to,
That's what I mean by chaos. That's what I mean by chaotic.
Yeah.
That's
complete
like
chaos.
So,
and I feel
and
like
more things.
I feel like the Oscars treats these, like a lot of award shows do this, right? Like the only one, like the Super Bowl goes the other way. But I feel like a lot of award shows are like, well, if we just put these people in the blender, like magic's gonna happen. And you might get some dumb shit to happen. You might get these heart-touching moments because of their performers and whatever. But also, I think you gotta recognize the strengths of what might make good TV in a scripted environment, right? Because
they're not trying to make good TV. They're trying to go viral. And it's something you see in these award shows and in TV shows. It's not, they're just trying to get at least one or two moments that go viral on social media and pop so that, they're relevant or something. Like, they're not going for any real kind of quality. They just want some tweetables. Some gifable moments. That's what they want.
So hold on a second. I don't. The chat is. Thank you, chat, for contributing. Brittany and I, we just riffing.
The chat.
You also got to recognize. I mean, and I apologize a little for this. Like, Brittany and I ain't gotten to rap like this in a minute. Like, we talk offline, we do, but like life has come at us, and we used to talk like this a lot more. And so I miss my homie. So we just chatting. I'm sorry. So
what are they talking? What's the chat talking about? I can't see the chat.
I want to point out a couple things. Hero Wing says they don't give him the respect he deserves. Talking about Will. Tom Cruise gets to make his movies. Will Smith got to find his movies. I don't think I don't know if I agree with it. I don't think I disagree with that. I feel like
I do agree.
But there's I think it's a little weighted on find his movies, because Will Smith got to find his movies, meaning I got to find something that like I can be bigger than life in the thing, right?
think Will Smith is bad at picking movies for himself. Because remember, Will Smith turned down The Matrix.
He did turn down The Matrix. There's something else big he turned down, wasn't there? I mean, The Matrix is the biggest one.
There was something, I think he was doing After Earth and they wanted him to do something else, but he was like, sorry, I'm doing After Earth. Like, I think it's not like...
Sorry, that Scientology is hitting me up right now, so I got to roll with that. Yeah.
So, like, I do think, I would agree that Tom Cruise is probably offered way more roles than Will Smith is, and like a wider, although I don't know, because now the insurance on that man got to be out the, just sky high.
Yeah.
Sky high. This motherfucker jumping out of planes. He, like, you know, base jumping off the Burj Khalifa in Dubai.
And also he might
like
just
that,
cuss
like,
out a crew for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, the insurance on Tom is probably pretty damn high, I would imagine.
But I think it's like, if you're looking to be liked in every role that you do, then sometimes when really good, really juicy, really interesting stuff comes your way, you're probably going to say no.
Yeah. I see Nana Slug saying Will Smith needs an agent that can help him pick his projects. I agree with that. But I feel like we'll be like, nah, I'm good.
Right. I don't know if he even I don't know if he even would listen to his agent or his manager or anybody. I think he's just like, I know what a Will Smith movie should be, and it is this, and this. Which, you know, respect. He knows his niche. You know, in business, everybody talks about knowing your niche, know your brand.
So before we move to the event, let's talk about Will a little bit more. I think what's the enduring legacy of Will Smith? And granted, he probably has another 15 years he's got more than that, but like of like serious contention, like movie making of like good movies and blah 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 blah. He's still got a lot of years of movie making ahead of him. But like, what's the legacy of Will? Like Will, even before this, you know, and I hate to, like, not everyone's gonna be the same person, but you know, the gold standard, he wasn't gonna be Denzel, right? Like, he wasn't gonna have that same kind of reverence, right? At that point of his career, at that age. So like, what timeline is Will on? Like, what are we gonna look at Will like 15 years from now? Like, looking back at his movies, look at his performances, look at, you know, and then you got to count the antics and yada yada. Like, what do we see from Will 15 years from now? Like, how do we think of him?
I think if he was more willing to show the ugly sides of himself, then he could have been a Brad Pitt, or maybe even oh shoot, Lord, pregnancy brain, my brain doesn't work now. Danny Ocean.
Yes, Clooney.
Yes, or George Clooney. But you know, he's like,
I feel like
okay,
Clooney's
I want people to like me.
I feel like there's a different world. I'm with you, because I feel like there's a way he could have taken this where he actually, Clooney's a good analog, I think, right? In terms of like, but he would have had to very carefully select projects. And also, so Suicide Squads is interesting because I never would have thought that Will would take a role that was an ensemble role like that. And I'm sure there's some examples that you can point to that maybe he did. But at this point in his career, that kind of surprised me that he took that role. But the question is, are we gonna see him do something like that again? Like,
I don't think so, because he wasn't even in the second one. Like,
but conversely, and granted, he takes every damn role. Idris will do that in a second. Idris will do an ensemble role in a second. He will fade into the background if necessary. He will play like a bit part in something, drop in and out. Like, you can make jokes like, he just trying to pay that mortgage or whatever. But like, I feel like he doesn't take his image so seriously that he has to be the star of everything that he's in, and he will melt into the scenery of a production. And like, Will has not shown us he can do that, at least with any consistency.
I mean, Idris is also just as enthusiastic, but much, much worse rapper. So You know, I
He's
hate
too
to put
busy,
that out there, but
he's too busy boxing, man. He's too busy doing like
yeah,
some
I
mixed
mean,
MMA and like race
and
car
yeah.
driving. Like,
Look, I mean, you love it, you like it, I love it, Idris. You like it, I love it.
Right.
Go for it. But
Right,
yeah,
right,
I mean,
right.
it's and like not to say I like Will Smith. Will Smith is an extremely charismatic actor. I think that
one of our best storytellers alive. Like no cap, like legit, no qualifier. He is one of the. If you sit Will Smith down and tell him to tell you a story about something that happened in his life, he is one of the most entertaining people to do that on the spot, like without question.
Yeah, and I know people who have met him who said that he's really, you know, generous and kind, and you know, it gives people time and mentorship and stuff. So, you know, respect for all that. But I just, you know, we know that he has the dramatic chops. He just doesn't. I'm like, please just give me a little bit more. Like that moment in I Am Legend where he has to choke out his dog. Like that's like top 5 Will Smith acting moments. Like no lines, no nothing. We just watching his face while he's strangling a fucking dog.
We crying like, while he's strangling his dog. Yeah. Like it's
top 5.
Yeah. I'm with you. It's just yeah.
But even with that, like they changed the ending so he could be the hero instead of you know the.
Because yes, for those of y'all that don't know, ending. Sorry to spoil this. I don't know, 20-year-old, 25-year-old short story.
Look away if you don't want spoilers.
Look away if you don't want to know the
actual
source. I Am Legend. But the whole point. Thank you, Nana Slug and Yeti, for gifting that sub. Thank you so much. Thank y'all all for tuning in and watching Brittany and I just rant and talk about the Oscars and Will Smith real quick. But I Am Legend. The whole point of that story is his character. He's the villain. He's the one that is terrorizing these quote unquote zombies. They have formed a community and he's the one that he is their big bad. And so
he is the legend.
He's the legend.
I am legend.
He's boom. And like so like that's what happens in the actual story. But they changed it so he has some heroic death, whatever. Well, I don't know because now we're getting a sequel with Michael B. Jordan, and like I don't even want to. We ain't gotta talk about that. We ain't gotta talk.
That's for another day.
It's for another day.
That's for another day.
All right, let's talk about the incident.
Okay, but the slap.
The slap.
NBC's The Slap. Sorry, ABC's The Slap.
Brought to you by Black people. So
right.
Yeah, the slap with black people was actually black people. Where do I want to start with this? I find it funny that there is so much. I mean, the discourse was always going to happen with this, right? Like as soon as Will started walking towards stage, discourse, right? And then everything after that was. It's
the equivalent of Ultron busting through on the Watcher in What If. Like, boom, we in the multiverse now. That's
it was like, wait,
broken.
You're watching me. Yeah, it really was that.
Right. They're like, oh no. The Watcher was all of us at home. Like, what? I've seen everything. I've seen so many things, but I've never seen this.
So can I tell you, because I didn't watch the Oscars last night, and I like nothing last night. I went to bed early. I was tired or whatever. I was like, what? No Attack on Titan tonight? I'm going to bed. Fuck this, right? That's pretty much what I did last night. So I wake up this morning. I see Twitter, Will Smith, and like, I haven't even seen the picture yet. Will Smith. I was like, why is Will trending? He must have won last night. See that he slapped Chris. I'm like, wait, what? And then I go to Discord. I'm like, wait, I know they talking about this in the Discord. So like, I saw that one little thing.
Oh God.
Then I went to the Discord and looked at the thread. Yo, that's how I watched the Oscars. I read through the entire thread of Discord, just waiting.
Y'all don't understand. We were on 10 last night in the Discord.
But what's crazy is y'all were talking about the Oscars. And I was like, I can't wait till I get there. I'll know it when I see it. And then it was like, oh my God. Wait, did that happen? I was on a delay. Wait, wait. Japan TV got it. No, it was so funny. It was so funny.
It was wild. It was wild to watch because, you know, of course they just went to this extended bleeping and then they cut away and cut right back. And I was like, what the hell? happening.
Who would-
It woke up my baby. It woke up the baby, and he was just all the way live for like the next 2 hours.
Was he like Beyonce,
we were all the
just
way
there
live
for the mess?
the next 2 hours.
Just there for the mess?
Yes, of course. He's always there for the mess.
So,
yeah.
So that's how I experienced
it. It literally came out of nowhere. But it was so right before that. The thing that nobody is really talking about is like Chris made a tacky joke about Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz, and he was like,
and I heard they
it
didn't
must
like
be
that
rough.
either.
Yeah, he was like, it must be rough for both of y'all being nominated because it means if she loses, you can't win, Javier. Like, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
A joke from 1950.
We're gonna talk about that too, because yes, go ahead.
Yes, and so they were already like, we not feeling it, Chris, but okay, whatever. And then he did the G.I. Jane joke to Jada, and Jada was not having it. And this was the second joke of the night that Jada was not there for. Because there was an earlier joke that Regina made where we'll get back to that, but there was an extended COVID bit, COVID sexual assault bit, kind of.
Lord.
That,
Lord.
right, chaos. But yeah, Chris just did that, and then Will walked up on stage. We all thought it was a bit, because that's the kind of night it was, with like weird shit like that. And then he smacked the shit out of Chris Rock, and Chris said, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me, but none of us in America heard it because the censors bleeped it out. And then Will say, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And yep.
And that was it. That was it. So
the other thing that clinched it for me that it was real was that Diddy came out next to present an award, and he said something about he was like, oh yeah, Chris and Will, we're gonna get this settled backstage later. And I was like, now
Diddy,
I know
Diddy trying to mediate beef. Not Diddy.
So point one, y'all don't want Diddy mediating shit, okay? Point two, I know for a fact that Sean P. Diddy Combs is not a good enough actor to have played it if that was a bit.
So
he is not.
So we're
saw A Raisin in the Sun on HBO.
We are through the Looking Glass people. Like that's not
right. I was like, that's how I know it's real, because I believed him when he said that.
It goes to HBO and said, we're gonna get it settled at Beyonce's gold party. So the slap
I wouldn't even count on Beyonce to mediate it, because we saw what Beyonce did in that elevator. She just let it happen.
She just let it happen. She was like, it's gonna work itself out. It's gonna work itself out. So I want to bury all the dumb shit about I mean, it's all dumb, but the dumb shit that came out of it, right? So one, you knew white people was gonna white people, right?
Of course.
And there was already of course there was going to be folks that are like, black folks, we can't be doing it. Like, look, I'm over us embarrassing ourselves in front of white people. Like, they don't like you anyway, my dude. They don't like you anyway, man.
No.
Like you can be as upstanding Negro as you want to. It don't matter. Like,
ask Elon, who got to sit outside his wife's family's house every Thanksgiving. It don't matter.
Right. We already know. We know how this ends. So I don't want to hear about folks talking, well, that was embarrassing for black folks. Like, look, man, standing ovation for Roman Polanski when he was dodging crimes for sexual assault of a minor, like kidnapping and sexual assault of a minor, and they gave him a standing ovation. Like, that's embarrassing. What,
right.
That's embarrassing for white folks and the white folks that clap for him. So
them giving Green Book the Best Picture Oscar.
That's
them giving Crash the Best Picture Oscar. Them giving the Best Actor Oscar to Casey Affleck over Denzel in Fences. That shit's embarrassing.
Yeah. And Casey Affleck shouting out Denzel in the speech. He's like, please don't say my name. Please don't say my name. So
y'all not embarrassed by Casey Affleck, but y'all not embarrassed by Mark Wahlberg? Y'all not embarrassed by, okay.
I'm not trying to hear any of that. Be black folks is a bad look or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever for that. So that's one. Two, I mean, people can talk about the dynamics of the slap. here's what I think. Like, Will was not trying to hurt Chris, and I don't even know if he has the capacity to actually do that, right? It was very much this is the performance version of me telling you went too far, right? And so,
no, he slapped the shit out of him.
He slapped the shit out of him, but he did not slap him.
And it doesn't take much for a slap to hurt you.
It doesn't take much for a slap to hurt you, but Will didn't go out there and tackle Chris on stage. He didn't get the ground game going and start pounding on Chris. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he didn't close the hand. So, like, there was a message in that, and I'm not saying it was the right message, all this other bullshit, yada. But there is, like, the slap was a message, as much as it was physical, was like an actual message, and like, he was not out to do harm to Chris as much as he was out. It was basically him trying to check him. He was trying to check Chris. Like,
he was trying to embarrass him and to hurt him a little bit. He wasn't trying to the what if he had killed him discourse is too much. What if he had killed him? And what if he had slapped Betty White? Betty White is dead, first off. Okay, let that lady rest in peace. He would not let her rest in peace. Let her rest. What
if he had kept the gun from the intro to Fresh Prince and pulled it out on Chris? You know, like, what are we talking about, right? Like, just get the hell up out of here with that. So,
oh man,
all the hypotheticals of what could have happened out of a slap. My favorite tweet was like, "Yo, Will is not One Punch Man. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
right."
He's not going up there to kill the Ocean King. Like, this is not a thing.
Right, no.
So
but you know what? I do like the theory that Chris may have brought it on himself because he committed a big theater crime by saying Macbeth in a theater. You can't say it. That is a curse.
I love that.
That is a curse. There's a whole ceremony you have to do as soon as you do that. Like, people who were announcing it, being like, like announcing its nominations, you're in the clear there. You're in the clear if you're performing it. But if you just say it just for shits and giggles.
That is dope. No, I did not know that. I did not know that. That's great.
Yeah, so he fucked up. You fucked up big time, man. You fucked up big time.
So here's
everybody calls it the Scottish play.
The Scottish, that's good.
Like, oh, the Scottish play. No, you never. FYI to everybody out there, do not say Macbeth in a theater, because
that's good to know. I didn't know that.
It's gonna go down.
I know it now.
Yep.
I know it now. Theater I know to look for it too. So let's talk. I want to talk about the Will and Jada part of this, but I think most of my heat is around the Chris Rock part of this, because I just have a lot of thoughts about Chris Rock. So many. So the Will part of this, like the whole defending Jada's honor and all that, like, let's just call it what it is. This is some patriarchal bullshit, right? Like in the essence of it, right? Because there is a way, even in real time, to check Chris. Now, granted, there's always this rule. You want to talk about rules. You never want to get into a verbal argument with someone that's got the microphone, right? Because you will always lose. You will always lose. Hecklers that try to do this, comedians. You go to a poetry slam, you talking shit. Don't ever talk shit to me when I got a mic, because I have the mic. I will be louder than you. I will be the one persisting. Like, it's a losing deal, right? So there is that element of it, but Will, if what he was actually trying to do, if it had nothing to do with him, if what he was actually trying to do was defend Jada, he probably could have done more from his seat than he could have, like, going up and smacking her. Which, again, I ain't mad that he went up and smacked Chris. I don't give a damn about that. But if we're looking at, like, what would have been most effective, what would have been the most selfless thing in still defending his wife, it probably wouldn't have been walking up on stage, unless he's going up there and whoop his ass. Now, if you go up there and whoop his ass, it's like, okay, I don't know.
I will say that if my husband slapped the shit out of somebody who said something out of pocket to me, I would be a little horrified, but also a little delighted. But that's just the part of me that enjoys violence and has a lot of rage. That's the part of me. If I was at it,
that's the part of me that was birthed with the blade.
Right. That's the part of me that likes to,
I
that
mean,
just is like, oh, okay, yes. I'd be like, damn, baby, but also, damn, baby.
I didn't know you.
I'm trash. I admit it. I'm trash. I would love it.
Be like, but like, I didn't know we were still like that. We've been together for a long time. We got a family now. I didn't know you were still checking like that. Like,
I'm like, you about it. Yes.
So
you was stealing Froggy from me, boo, for me.
So
that's it right there.
Even in like, again, it's that part that it's almost like you almost can't blame them, because even in Will trying to defend his family, as his stated, he's still performing. Like the chief vessel of doing this is through performance, right? In terms of like walking up on stage and smacking Chris Rock, right?
Honestly, he should have just met that man at the bathroom. Like,
he should have met that
man. Beat his ass on the way to the bathroom.
So here's the thing.
Beat his ass at the Vanity Fair party afterwards.
The first thing I thought, and I'm surprised I haven't seen this talked about anywhere else, and maybe it has, I just haven't seen it. When I saw that he smacked Chris Rock, I was like, oh, it's like the old time he didn't have a glove. He smacked him because the real duel is going to happen later. like, how dare you, sir? I'll meet you at high noon, right? Like, is this some Alexander Burr shit, right? So like, I didn't know, I assumed a bigger fight was coming. I didn't know that was the fight. I didn't know it was over, right? Like,
I think when you get that rich, you're not ready to fight no more. Like, you just don't fight no more.
And to the credit, like, if you that rich, you probably ain't walking up and smacking nobody anymore either, right? So I was very surprised, right, in terms of how that went down. And the Will part of it, again, so the thing is more overwhelmingly funny to me, because the parts that people are taking seriously, I just have a hard time taking as seriously. I think the most serious part of this is obviously Jada, the condition and all that, and what's, making fun of that. And then also the very patriarchal stance that Will took in defending my family and all this other stuff. And I think all those things are valid in the abstract. But Jada as an individual is not without power, and has a lot more power than people that we would place these, avatars upon her, right? And so like in the abstract, in your local theater show or something, or your awards banquet down the street for a sports thing that happened or whatever, if that happens there, it's very different than when it happens, than when it happens to millionaires and everything that are on national TV and have national profiles. And so because Jada has more power than the average individual, right? It does, the graveness doesn't hit me the same way, which doesn't mean she is not entitled to that kind of respect that should come. But I just have a hard time getting worked up about it. I have a hard time being like, oh, Will had to do that to protect. It's like, it's tougher for me. It's tougher for me than like, if that happened to you, like, Brittany, I'm gonna be real. Like, if we somewhere and I don't know, someone makes fun of you about some shit that's sensitive to you, then I, we just cool. We family. I might go smack a motherfucker. But like,
I would smack them on my own behalf.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We don't know. Maybe Jada was in her head like, okay, I'm gonna see your ass after the show.
Right.
Because she from Baltimore. And
you know how it gets down. So so in that instance, I just think it's different. I think it's different when we talk about these positions of power and how they influence these things, how they interact in the abstract, how they compared to how they act in a specific situation, right? Yeah.
And I think people love projecting onto celebrities and being like, see, they're just like us. No, they're not. According to Questlove, Will Smith has a room where he can lower the walls and make inside outside in 40 seconds. They are not just like us.
Right.
And honestly, the person I feel bad for is Questlove, because that happened right before he won his Oscar. Like, all of that got missed.
Yeah.
So that shit sucks. But it was it was already a chaotic award show. And I think one thing, they were sticking to the usual mean-spirited jokes and banter about people. And I think that because we're in this, like, basically going into year 3 of this enormous global tragedy where billions of people have died and there's fuck all we can do about it. I think that people are a lot more sensitive and tender than they would have been pre-2020.
Very possible.
And these jokes just don't hit like they used to. Like, the awards, it needed to grow and mature, and people are so busy trying to get back to the status quo, and somebody ended up getting the shit slapped out of them.
Someone got the shit slapped out of them on international TV. So let's talk about Chris Rock. Let's talk about Chris. So I feel like Chris Rock.
Give me 1 second.
Oh yeah. You go ahead. So as Chris Rock to me has kind of like his post growing into fame has kind of had like 3 movements to him, right? You had the Chris Rock who of basically where his most fame was like his stand-up, right? Which he transitions to doing a whole lot of movies for white folks, right? So you had Chris Rock in his stand-up in the very famous "I love black people, I hate niggas," right? I'm on Martin Luther King Boulevard, there's some violence going on. I'm not looking over my shoulder for the media, I'm looking for niggas, right? You had that Chris Rock who parlays that into the very typical comedian movie route where he's the extremely silly Negro in a bunch of movies for white amusement. Let's call it what it is, right? We're talking like, I don't know, like The Longest Yard and like all like, you know, doing those type of movies, right? Where and I always go back, who was it? Was it Eddie Griffin that had that line when he's talking about OJ? He was like, "That's not our nigga, that's y'all nigga," right? Like that was Chris Rock. That was Chris Rock for a long time. And like we could acknowledge that Chris Rock was funny, but Chris Rock wasn't like rolling with us anymore. He was making white people money, right? And then Chris has this kind of amazing turn where it's not bullshit. It feels genuine as hell, where he just started calling out racism everywhere. And like, he became extremely unapologetic and like unscripted and everything. Like, he was like really into shit. He was like calling out individuals. He was talking about the industry he was in. You know, he has that great line where it's like, you know, what do you think, you know, how do you think about racism and how it's changed over the years? He goes, oh, it's easy. White people got less crazy. He was like, to think that someone was beneath you is crazy. Like, this isn't on black folks, this is on white people. Like, he had this moment that I think lasted for like a few years where it was like, I remember me specifically being like, okay, Chris, like, you saying a lot of shit, like, you're saying a lot of shit that people in your positions of power would not typically say. And, you know, he has that great, he had that great kind of interview monologue, whatever it was. He's talking about his neighborhood. He was like, he's like,
it's
in
like,
my
it's
neighborhood,
me and Jay-Z,
yeah,
and then it's a dentist, and he's
dentist.
just a regular dentist.
Right. And he's just talking about the disparity. And he has that whole conversation he's talking about with Obama, right? Where they were doing something like with Hollywood. And he was like, hey, he's like, look, he's like, you think this is bad? These are the people that actually voted for you. Like, Hollywood is terrible, right? Like, talking about racism and stuff. So he has like this like 3 to 4 year period where he just emerges as this voice of like, we ain't taking the bullshit anymore. And then cancer culture happens.
Lord, the cancel culture is what has me giving him no sympathy whatsoever. Because it's like, all right, you want to be able to say whatever you want. You want to be able to joke about whatever you want and offend people. Then you may get the shit slapped out of you. Right. That's it.
And also, while I'm doing the timeline, good hair happened in the first one, right? Good hair happens in the first one, and this is important.
I hate that movie so much.
This is important.
Hate it so much.
Right? So, I honestly thought that like Chris was gonna, like, the second phase, I thought that was gonna be Chris, like, as he got older, and like that looked like what it was gonna look like, because once you get past that threshold and you still good, right, then like who's gonna stop you? And so, but then the cancer culture and comedian shit starts happening, and he just flips it. And then all of a sudden he's, you know, riding with every white comedian possible. This is when we get the video of Ricky Gervais and Louis C.K. and all that, and they're throwing nigga around like it's fucking potato chips and shit,
and he's
right?
Just like,
and he's like, ha, 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 right? And just like, and he's like,
didn't Jerry Seinfeld call them out on it?
Yeah, Jerry was like, something about either I think Jerry's in the shot, and he's like, I don't want any part of this. Like, I think like Jerry was physically there, and he was like, I am not participating in this, right? And so, and then like, so the cancer culture thing has been really big for him, and you know he's really tight with Louis C.K. You know he's really tight with Ricky Gervais, and like all these people that are like the biggest arbiters of like cancel culture has gone too far, and that becomes his platform. And so that's a and like to call it neutral platform would be super generous, but like that takes all the nuance of him, like, you know, him riding for us in terms of like how race is treated in Hollywood. All that shit goes out the window. Mm-hmm. And then so I think I state all that to say I think it's important to note all of that, because when you arrive at this moment of him making fun of Jada, right, and it feels like an amalgamation of like this first version of Chris, and not the one that is aware of the racism and how black folks and even super powerful black folks in Hollywood are treated, and he still kind of goes at Jada, and by all accounts he's fully aware that she has Appalachia, like he knows the joke he's making, and he's not unaware of these things. So I think Chris is super interesting, but I also think he's just like, I found it funny that there was a discourse about how black people act around white folks when we're actually talking about two Negroes that have built their careers on the acceptance of white folks.
Yep.
I mean, that's what makes this ironic, right? Mm-hmm. And that's, I don't know. Anything else about, like, please add to that.
That for me, all of that you just laid out is what made it funny to me and somehow satisfying that he got the shit slapped out of him. Mm-hmm. And I call me a bad person for that. I will take that. I am not always nice. I'm not always kind to everyone, but it's just I'm fed up. I'm fed up, and I was like, somebody needed to do it.
But let's also talk.
Thank you, Will.
But let's talk dynamics of it real quick, because I think it's important that you mention that. I've been hit in the face. Like, I've took a punch. I don't think I would be the same person I am today had I not taken a beating here and there, right? Like,
sometimes you got to get the taste slapped out your mouth. You learn a lesson, and that lesson is needed.
I'm sorry to quote extremely white, methodology, but like Fight Club shit. How you know who you are? You've never been in a fight before, and like there was a whole lot of. It was very obvious by so many white folks on the timeline that have just never had violence visited upon them before, right? Like the Judd Apatows of the world. Like it was Judd Apatow who worked with James Franco for years. Like, let's not even, good God, right? But it was super, super obvious of folks that have never had violence visited upon them before, because I don't know if it's glorifying or whatever. Like, I write about it all the time. I talk about it. Violence has been an arc of my life, right? And where, not that I can look at what Will did and be like, oh, that ain't shit, da 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 da. But like, there's a context, right? And like, so many, I'm just gonna call it what it is. So many white folks look at that and be like, that's assault. And it's like, nigga, have you seen assault? Have you seen someone actually get their ass beat? And worse than that, have you seen someone get their ass beat where it was unprovoked? Because that's ugly to watch, right?
That is ugly.
People were like, he sucker punched Chris Rock. I ain't never seen someone claim that someone got sucker punched when they got hit in the front
A open-handed, not even a bitch slap, a open-handed front slap.
And how far did he have to walk to get to him?
When Jesus turned the other cheek, that is the kind of slap he's telling you to take. Okay? Jesus approved.
So the other thing I want to talk about, and this is where the Chris Rock part of this kind of dovetails into a bigger topic. I feel like it is okay to cross the line because it's comedy. That kind of PR feels like the hero cop narrative to me. Like, I don't know where that PR got started, but it has taken such a stranglehold on how people look at comedy and are willing to excuse super offensive shit. And granted, there is a grade of offense for what Chris said, but I don't think anyone, when you know the context, like, that's some offensive shit to say in that context, whether you think that's minor or not, it's still not great. It's a bad joke. Where did that come from? And why do we still believe that? That, like, it's okay to cross the line because it's comedy. Like, I think
that it's like a money shields people, because, you know, if you have enough money, the people who you offend can't get to you. And a lot of these people are punching down. That's why they're so dedicated to offending people who have less power than them, because they can't reach them. They can't, you know, half the jokes that Chris Rock wants to tell, if not for cancel culture, are things that people could really only go to social media to complain about.
Right. Or,
you know, at most get him booted from a campus show or a campus speech or something like that. They're not used to coming at people on their, like, with their same reach or level of power. So it's like, just they're insulated from it. It's the same thing with people making, you know, saying out of pocket shit online. Like, you can't, like, they're like, oh, nobody can reach through the computer and beat my ass, but, you know, then they.
But Will Smith can walk his ass up on stage. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's why you see a lot of these, like, prank channels and stuff, they be getting their asses beat trying to, like, rolling up on somebody trying to pull a prank.
Right. And like the TikTok phenomenon of that, right? Of like doing that kind of shit. I feel like that's been good PR, because I think that's bullshit, right? In terms of
it is
comedy and crossing the line, and it's okay and yada yada. I think you can always have risk. You can always push the boundaries, I think, but, like, you know the line. You know the line. You're well aware.
It's easier to punch down. It's easier for people to punch down, and, you know, it's just it's all fun and games until somebody hits you in the fucking face.
Until someone hits you in the face. And, like, the thing about Chris Rock, and, like, so I wanted to put a pin in, like, the old joke. So here's the other thing too. Omar and I were talking about this earlier today. G.I. Jane is how old? This shit came out in what, like 97? Who's that joke for, Chris? Who's that joke for? Like, what are we doing? Like, if you ain't got the jokes no more, man, it's okay. Like, you did your time. Like, you were very, very funny for a long time. Like, what?
All those people sitting around, and that's what you come up with. That's all you got.
I just feel like
he wouldn't say no shit like that to Denzel, but now he won't say no shit like that to Will Smith again.
So that's the other thing too, right? That's the other thing too. As far as, because, you know, I've seen a lot of people have been talking about the Smiths and all this other stuff and making jokes about the Smiths all the time. Why you take offense now? I kind of can go back and forth on that. I think obviously this particular joke has a much more personal nature to it than, like, making fun of Jada's red table talks or whatever, right? Like, that's part of a construct, kind of a business, and this is about her person, right? And so I think it's a different category of people, because you're gonna be used to people talking shit about you in some fashion. Like, for all the things we could talk about Will and maybe the fragility and all this other stuff, Will been in the industry for what, 30 years? Like, people have been talking about Will in some fashion, not always positive, maybe only half the time positive, for 30 years, right? So it's not that the man can't take whatever, bullshit people say about him online, and we do know he's sensitive. We've found that much out. But I do think, like, you can't be like, oh, you can't say nothing to him. I think someone...
Right, and you also don't know what what led up to that. What was the build-up? We don't know what they were going through the rest of the day. Like, he is also a real person who lives a whole life that we don't see.
Yeah.
So...
And
so, all it takes is that one thing, that one thing too far.
I think a lot of us been
among
there.
us has not had that moment where it's something that ain't that bad, but it's just that one thing, that one push too far.
And it could be the one push too far. It could be they were having a bad day, and it could be, I saw there's a picture of Samuel Jackson dapping Will up. You think Will's the first person that wanted to smack Chris Rock?
He sure enough ain't.
I'll go one further. The first black person that's wanted to smack Chris Rock. Like,
he ain't. I can name 2 that I'm looking at right on this stream.
Right? So I think about I think a lot of this, and of course, man, I saw so many white folks flock to Chris Rock's defense, and I was like, that's on brand. That's on brand. Like, Chris Rock showed great restraint. It's like, dude, he's the one that made the out of bounds joke in the first place. What the fuck are you talking about? So, I don't know, man. I emerged from this not caring, but also being like, yeah, Will is doing the Will thing, where he's doing the thing that put himself front and center, right? He made Will. Everybody was true to themselves. Like, Will did the thing that made it about him, regardless if you feel like he's justified or not. What happened was the story became about him, and Chris Rock got embraced by white folks. Like, I just feel like... And
also the Oscars got more people talking about them than would have been talking about them otherwise. So it's like everybody wins. Why are we just let it be? It's a fight. It's something between these 2 niggas with money. Let them settle it how they gonna settle it.
Yeah.
The Oscars then got the engagement. They got the, they feeling themselves. So just let it go. Don't talk about they gonna take the man's Oscar and stuff. Just let it be.
Just
let it rock.
Now, if
Denzel squashed it.
Now you can talk
Tyler
about
Perry squashed it.
Tyler Perry mediated. What else more? What more do you want? What more do you want?
What more do you want? What more do you people want?
If you want to look at it like, well, actions have consequences, yada yada.
Now we're doing consequences?
Denzel may not. Right. Now we're doing consequences. Not Denzel. Sorry, Will. He may not get nominated again. Like, that's a real thing.
Will.
I'm not saying.
William.
What's that?
Now, did you really expect that to happen anyway?
I don't think it was out of the realm of possibility. Like King Richard was not his swan song of the performance. I don't think. Like, Will was still going to chase Oscar bait movies. Like, that wasn't going to change.
But just because you chase Oscar bait movies don't mean you're going to get, them Oscars going to be baited.
But hold on. So. Here's the thing. Will's still good for getting nominated. He just was never going to win shit, right? Like, he's still good for getting a nomination. He just wasn't typically going to win shit. So I still think he could get nominated, but I think now is going to be like, unless he does what you were talking about before, which is he does something that shows some real vulnerability and it's not Will Smith and he can disappear into a role, which I don't know if he's actually capable of doing. But like, if he went that route, then, like I'll give you an example. Like, we were comparing him to Tom Cruise earlier, right? Has Will Smith ever done a role like Tropic Thunder, where Tom Cruise put on a fat suit, went completely just like
he
left
wouldn't.
field?
He wouldn't.
And I'm not even. I think he was hilarious, but I'm not. That movie got so many issues, so I'm not trying to elevate Tropic Thunder. But like, at some point, we still know who Tom Cruise is. But at some point, it was like, oh, okay, like, he can actually enjoy himself in a thing, right? I don't know that we have that who's funny, who's entertaining, who could do all those things. I just don't know that we're gonna have that. Like, even Hancock could have been that, and he just didn't want to do that, right? So I don't know. Will he get nominated again? Probably not. Probably not.
It's like, I mean, they still nominated Sean Penn after he locked Madonna in a bathroom and beat the shit out of her. So who knows?
They do that for white folks, though. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
They do it for
I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out now how much how close he is to whiteness, and he's gonna find out it's not close.
He's gonna find out real quick. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen quick too. It's gonna happen quick.
Yeah, it's already happened.
Yeah, because like he's now he's a villain, and it's like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Get jiggy with it. The dude who was in 3 Men in Black movies,
right,
is now like people wanted him brought up on assault. Like, this is wild. This is a
maybe he'll do a full heel turn with this, and maybe we'll see a new.
I actually think I would like to see that. Like, what else he gonna do? What else he gonna do? I kind of would like to see him do that. Like, what's the analog of that? Is there? Do you have a good example of someone that like just embraced it and was like, well, fuck y'all then? Like, I'm just going.
I don't know.
Cause I mean, I don't think you can really say Brando did that. I think Brando just was that, right?
Brando
like,
ain't give a fuck. He did not care.
So I don't know if we have an example of someone being like, well, fuck me, well, fuck y'all, right? Like, I don't know.
Right. I don't know either.
That we have one that was like a big time actor. But I would like to see the heel turn. I would like to see the LeBron on the Miami Heat version of Will Smith. Like, that would be fun to watch for a few years, maybe. I don't know. But again, the biggest thing about Will is I just want him to choose projects that are outside of his comfort zone and see what happens. Like, even if it's
that would be nice. That would be nice. Now, you didn't watch the rest of the Oscars, so you don't know about the We Don't Talk About Bruno featuring Megan Thee Stallion.
Wait, what? Because that piques a brother's interest. You've hit two things of high interest to me. So
they performed We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Okay.
With the actors, some of the actors from Encanto.
Okay.
They started out the song, and then they made it through the first verse. And the part where Dolores starts her little like rap bit. Then Megan Thee Stallion appeared. Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion appeared and dropped a verse. And then all these dancers.
Did she whisper it like Dolores though? Because that would have been
no. She did her regular Megan Thee Stallion stuff.
Okay, I mean regular Megan Thee Stallion is still very good.
I mean, yes, I love Meg, I do. But why were like what?
It's
like
laid
anybody
up for you.
Who
it's laid up
anybody
for you.
who was like, oh, they're doing We Don't Talk About Bruno. Come on and watch, kids. Suddenly it wasn't what you thought. It wasn't what you thought. And then all these dancers appeared out of nowhere, doing just random Latin dance moves. So like just hitting like merengue, like just I say Latin dance moves, but I mean like from Dancing with the Stars. So like just imagine all these extras from Dancing with the Stars, and like you remember when The Gap did those they did the West Side Story themed ads because they had those like matching twins, those colorful matching sets. So they were in it was like that. It was like those commercials. But to the tune of We Don't Talk About Bruno. So yeah, that happened.
Why? That's an interesting decision. That's a really interesting decision. It really
was. I love Meg, but why was she there? There was Tony Hawk and Shaun White were there.
I saw the Tony Hawk Wesley Snipes picture, which is amazing. But okay, hold on. I just gotta, before we move off this, it's so easy for Meg to come out there and do a verse like it wouldn't even have to be Dolores' words. Like if she'd just done a whisper rap for a few seconds.
Will, Meg is not for the kids, okay? Meg is not for the children. Like Wu-Tang for the children, Wu-Tang for the kids. Not. Meg is not for the kids, okay? I couldn't even listen to what she was saying because I was so shocked. And my baby was asleep, so...
Oh my God.
And he also is too young to understand. We could curse in front of him. He has no idea. But I was like, what? I was clutching my pearls. Because I was like, Meg, why are you here? While they're performing this song from the most popular children's movie in the world right now. Like, it just didn't, I just didn't understand it. But also, like, they had a band. So first, DJ
wait, hold on. Is this true?
What?
Ghost on HML said Meg is the first female rapper to perform at the Oscars. Is that true? Who else would it have been?
Did they do Lady Marmalade at the Oscars?
They had.
Did they perform that at that?
You tell me Queen Latifah never rapped at the Oscars?
No.
Really?
Has Queen Latifah been?
She's been to the Oscars. Oh, God.
I don't know. I don't know.
Google,
she might have been.
It's Meg's. Oh, my God. Been. That's. I'm sorry to derail you, but he said, I was like, that can't be right, but that might be right. Like,
it might be. I mean, 3 6 Mafia got an Oscar, so.
True.
Academy Award winners, 3 6 Mafia, so. Stranger things have happened. But yeah, so I just, it's like, why would you? I feel like Doja Cat might have even like worked a little bit better than Meg, because Meg is just not, there is nothing family friendly about a single one of like her costumes, her like her social media presence, her raps, her vibe. Like, I love her to death for grown-ups. But like, Will Packer, why did you put that together? And like it was weird. Like DJ D Nice DJ'd for the first hour.
I saw that D Nice was built.
Yes, he DJ'd for the first hour, but he only played like Earth, Wind and Fire, and then like he kept playing like old like Latin music whenever a Latinx person came out, and it was like, this is kind of offensive. And then when Daniel Kaluuya came out, he played Toto's Africa, and it's like, this is kind of offensive.
So Kenny makes a good point. He says them Meg legs are for everyone. Like, that's not inaccurate. That's not inaccurate at all.
As a parent.
Oh goodness.
As a bisexual, I say yes. As a mom, I say no. So.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me ask this. It's kind of one of the last things we talk about. Where are award shows going, Bricks? Like what do we actually?
They are going to hell. I think that if people actually stopped being so stuffy and protective of the tradition of it all, we might be able to get the award shows to somewhere where they would be entertaining and actually relevant. Yeah. But folks are too busy trying to hold on to the days of yore, you know, where it was so exclusive. And honestly, if they could still be the Oscars where Hattie McDaniel had to be sitting in a separate building when she won her Oscar and accept it from a whole separate building because niggas couldn't come in, then they would love to have that shit. But it's not it. Like they invited a bunch of new people into the Academy, but it hasn't changed much. And we keep saying that the movies that Hollywood is all about making money right now. They don't care about like prestige. They don't care about art. They don't care about like any of that stuff. They want dollars. They want butts and seats and zeros after, like, just zeros lined up as far as the eye can see. Like, that's what they want. And that's not what the Oscars are. That's not what, the Golden Globes are. That's not what you're going to get. And it's just too...
Hey, Bricks, give me 1 quick second. I'm going to do an audio thing real quick because I just want to make sure I don't lose you here because my earbud's about to die. Hold on. It ain't matching up, man. Brittany, speak for me, please.
All right.
Okay, I can hear
Hello.
you, and I'm pretty sure the stream can hear you. Hey, y'all, just let us know you can still hear Brittany in the stream, please.
just because I'm about to be spitting. So no, but it's
all good.
Like, what the all people hate on the arty people hate on all the Marvel movies all the time. And Marvel is churning them out at a ridiculous rate.
You're right.
But the best we saw of Spider-Man was I think it was the special effects or editing award, which wasn't even broadcast. And then those weird audience voted on the best things that happened that Zack Snyder movies won every time because the
Flash
internet
entering
is a
the
terrible,
Speed
terrible
Force?
place. Better than the Avengers assembling? Better than Spider-Man? No. In what world?
Yes.
And it was specifically in the Zack Snyder cut of the. I was like, no.
So
Army
dumb,
of the Dead? No. Every time I was like, I know you fucking lying because you were. So it's just not. Nobody cares that, like, and especially as Black people, because even if Black people win these awards, it doesn't get them anything. Lupita is an amazing actress. She has an Oscar, and people still won't put her in stuff.
Right.
You mean to tell me that y'all can't give Lupita half of the shit that y'all giving to Jennifer Lawrence?
I saw is before the Oscars happened this year that it was like the anniversary of Halle Berry's speech, right? And it was like ain't shit changed since then. Like nothing is.
No other Black woman has won. No Black woman won lead actress before her, and none has won since. And she won for the bullshit ass reason.
Right.
You're letting Billy Bob Thornton
Billy Bob wear out
on the living room floor. How dare you? How dare you?
Same dude that killed your husband. So
right.
I had your husband executed or was there or whatever. So then that brings up the other question that I kind of have, because there's always a debate about this. Okay, so Brittany, I'm going to assume you and I knowing each other, not saying this in any kind of cynical way. You do a movie role, you get nominated, you're gonna go to the Oscars, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get a fancy dress made by Christian Siriano, and I will accept my award when I win it, and it will be amazing, and I will put it on a shelf in my house.
Yeah, like that is still hugely aspirational, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is so when I see people that are like talking about award shows being so white and certain people didn't get nominated and yada yada, right? Then it's always like, well, we need to have our own shit and blah blah blah. But it's like telling an athlete, telling the football player that, hey man, you know how that race just messed up, man, so I wouldn't even go to the NFL, man. Like, you shouldn't even be worried about winning the Super Bowl. Like, nah, man, that's the goal, my dude. Like, that's the goal. Mm-hmm. And not to say, I do think there is a very legit criticism of like a white construct that we have like built into and everything else. But that's also a key word. Like, we have built, like, we help build a thing, right? And so there is an aspirational goal and an investment because we know we are part of the fabric that has built the thing up to what it is now, right? And so I guess, you know, and I don't know what the direct question about this is, but I kind of just want to give you space to talk about it. Like, how do you think about performers, actors of color that are in this system that feels like it's against them, but it still has that big golden statue at the end of it that's like, that might have been like your original dream was to win one of these, right? Or to be nominated and be amongst the best of your peers. Like, right. What do you think about the dynamic when you're talking about non-white folks that are up for these awards or trying to get them?
I mean, who doesn't want to be rewarded with accolades for the hard work that they've done? Who doesn't want to be recognized for their excellence? It sucks that it's, you know, we live in a patriarchal white supremacist society, so that all of that is tacked onto these awards. And I do appreciate people taking like the NAACP Image Awards more seriously, because that is our stuff for us. But then, you know, they go and do shit like nominate Awkwafina for Best Voice Actor. So what are we really doing, y'all? What are we really doing? But anyway, I digress. So I personally am not angry at any person of color who still wants to win these awards. Like, Beyonce they keep disrespecting Beyonce, and she keeps showing up. She keeps showing up in her excellence. Like, getting the full EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, like, that is still, like, that's huge. That is,
it's rarefied air. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know, I can't be mad at people for wanting that, you know?
I mean, you mentioned the NAACP awards. I feel like, or I'm wondering, is there a way of reaching that fulfillment as a black actor that doesn't include the Oscars? I mean, like is it realistic to think that can get that fulfillment of being recognized as one of the best in your profession and everything else? Is there a possible path to that does not include the Academy Awards or the Golden Globes or whatever that looks like?
Yeah, there absolutely is. And I think it requires you to be very comfortable and confident in your abilities and what you like, knowing what you can do and knowing your own worth. And actors of color need to know that anyway, because there's a 90 to 80% chance that you're never going to be recognized at any of these award shows. So, you know, the Screen Actors Guild Awards are more likely not to recognize performers of color and stuff, and they have a more expansive award category because it's like you're being awarded by your peers.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like, it's great if it happens. We will celebrate if it happens, but if it doesn't, you just have to know that you got it. And people know that they got it. Like, Viola Davis knows that she is a leading actress. She is like top caliber, even though she's never won the Best Actress Oscar. She's only won Best Supporting. But she knows. Everybody knows. Everybody knows Viola Davis's excellence. Everybody knows.
And so that's the next question I kind of got, kind of like a stemming off of that. Like, Viola Davis is one of the, you know, it's unquestionable that she's one of the best performers alive. But you know, she's one of the best performers of all time, and so that puts her in this like upper echelon, top 10%, whatever you want to call that, right? The middle class is a lot harder, right? The middle class, when you are not one of the all-time greats, when you're not Viola, when you're not Denzel, right? It's more difficult for the folks that are like the tier below that or whatever that looks like, right? Like, I mean, and granted, we just talked about this, and there's other reasons for that, but like, look at Will Smith, right? Like, for all the stuff we talk about, like, he has a storied career, like the career is there, right? but there doesn't seem to be a certain reverence for him the way he probably thinks he should be projected, or someone that has been in the business as long as him, and has the kind of quote unquote success that he does. So
look, you also got to understand where you are. Like, Will, you not on some of these folks' level, and that's okay. Run your own race, bruh. Run your own race. It's okay.
But he absolutely thinks he's on that level. Right.
I mean, then that's something he got to take up with, the people who love him and will be honest with him. And I don't know who that is, but just the people
we have no idea who that is.
The people who love him and be honest with him.
I think the moral of the story is he doesn't know who that is.
But you're not that good. Yeah, and it probably it might be hard in that house because Jada is a better actor than he is.
Ooh. And she basically was like punted on acting. Like, I think I'm good. Like, I think I'm good.
She's like, I'm gonna try this music shit a little bit. I'm good.
I'm gonna do some directing. I think I'm good. I'm gonna give a shout out. Marlon Brandon Fife said, "I'll never let a statue tell me how nice I am. I live by that." That's real. That's super real.
Yep.
It's a tough dynamic in being able to be like, yes, this should not be the end all be all. This does not tell you your value or your worth. But also just complicating that with, you may have, you wanted to get into performing, you wanted to be an actor, and you saw one of your favorite actors raise a statue, and you're like, that's what I want to do. That's my goal, right? And so I think it's hard to just put that on the complete back burner. And also I think it takes a couple things. It takes a certain personality type, right, to know that you're not measured in that way. But also, it don't hurt if you've had a certain level of success that lets you do that too. Because it's a lot harder for someone that has not won anything, who has not been recognized in that way, to be like, well, I don't care about awards and shit. Like, maybe you don't, but like, the people that are watching you say that may or may not believe you based upon whatever success you've already had.
Right. It's like, if you're one of the best basketball players in the NBA and you don't make Team USA, if you have some rings, that might make that, that might soothe that wound a little bit.
It's like, what I got to prove? Well, I don't need that, right? You can say that.
But if you don't, and you like, I'm one of the top 5 players, and y'all not taking me to the Olympics, and you ain't got no rings.
Yep.
That might, that's gonna hit different.
Shout out to Trae Young. That's exactly what he is right now. Trae was like, for real, I can't go do. That's cool.
No, okay.
But yeah, I'm with you. I Omar, the good Isaiah Thomas, I met the criteria, but I wasn't.
But for some reason, I wasn't chosen.
That's one of my favorite gifts of all time. I use that thing in so many situations. Yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't watch last night because I've personally gotten bored with award shows. Like, I like watching highlights of it, but I have a hard time sitting through and watching them. And like, not even a judgment about, them as much as like, they don't do a thing for me that they used to do. And so I'm always curious about like, what's the evolution of it gonna be? Because, we've already moved away from the one white dude hosting, right? That used to be the staple of that kind of a thing. And we've seen where that has gone. So we did the rotating host, or the like three person host kind of thing last night.
Yeah.
They're trying new ways to keep this fresh and entertaining, because the other part of this is just like almost all entertainment programs, while there is more value, and I know this is a cynical approach, but there is a lot of value in someone being able to be awarded for their efforts. At the end of the night, it is rich people giving speeches and giving other rich people gold statues, right? And so that is...
I thought you were going to go more cynical with that. I thought you were going to say, at the end of the night, it's about selling ad slots. That's what it is. At the end of the night, they want your eyeballs on it so they can get this sweet, sweet ad revenue.
I mean, that's what they want. Yes, that's a big one.
That's it.
I think because people know the game now, right? Like they are very aware of what they are watching, right? Especially because so many more social topics make it into the award shows, right? They're not just someone protesting a thing and they say something and then it's gone. Now everyone kind of has a thing that they want to say, or a cause that they want to triumph, or something like that. And so because of that, then the veil gets pulled down. It's like, bro, you made $70 million last year. Like, what's your struggle really got to do with me? Or how you trying to represent me and we're not the same person? And so because that veil is slipping, the award shows are kind of harder to digest for a lot of people in the same way they used to be, at least, right?
It's all feeling very local, you know? It's all just feeling not, it's just like, okay. Especially the Tonys, because the Tonys, is it like, at least everybody can see movies. With the Tonys, it's like, we're rewarding these plays that exist within a 10-block radius in New York City.
Right.
So,
Divine Black Pearl had a question, because I think you maybe talked about this earlier. Oscar hosts get paid or nah?
I don't know, actually. They might. I think they do. I think they get paid.
I gotta assume you gotta negotiate.
I think the hosts
that,
get
right?
paid, but I think the presenters
does.
get gift bags. They get an invitation and a gift bag.
Yeah.
Now the gift bags are like intense. Although last year they had that Chadwick Boseman NFT that they gave out in the gift bags, or what? One of those years they had those, and it's
oh my god, that just made me so depressed.
Yep. This is where we are. This is it. This is it.
For the ancestors, for Chadwick. Good Lord. Sorry, brother. Sorry, brother. We did that to you.
So they just love disrespect. They. Oh, you didn't even see the in memoriam. So did you even know what I was talking about when I was like Jamie Lee Curtis with the dog?
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's. I think the Oscars and other award shows of its ilk, and it's different than like the Grammys, right? Like the Grammys is still, it's different than than the Grammys, like where it's still like that show is like about a live entertainment, right? Like that show is very much, tune in for the music. Yeah, we're gonna give out some awards, but we've got some live performances, a lot more so than like for Oscars and stuff. So I think music award shows are still in a little different stratosphere than that. But I just feel like for them to stay relevant and sustain keeping these shows going the way they're going, they gotta find a way. They gotta find a way weirdly for the social status of their performers and the people that are being awarded to not be as center stage as it is right now. They
need younger producers. They need younger, fresher producers. Because if you want a fresh new show, I love you, Will Packer, but Will Packer is he's not putting fresh eyes on nothing.
No,
he's not.
No. Go do some old reliable shit. Yeah.
And half the people that DJ D Nice, love you, D Nice. You for the groans. You for the elder millennials. You for the millennials and above. The elder millennials at that. Like, you for the 80s babies and above. Like, that's it.
I mean, but
Sheila E, you there? Robert Glasper, you be on constant rotation in my house, but I am also about to be 36 years old.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I got my 30 and over club card. I'm the oldie station. Okay. That's not what y'all looking for. That's not what y'all looking for. Travis Barker, you on the oldie station too. Like you gotta.
Was there, let me ask you this before we leave. Was there a win outside of like Hans Zimmer, but like, was there a win that you were like, yes, they got that right, actually. That was the right pick?
Because I haven't seen any of these movies because I have a baby.
I guess I got to see Coda now.
Yeah. I still haven't watched my SAG screeners, so I got all these movies. I just got to watch them. Although, you know what? Without seeing Cruella, I think they got the costume design award right. Because those Cruella, the fashions, the looks in Cruella were phenomenal.
I can get
So
that.
yeah.
I don't know.
And
I wonder.
the sound on Dune, because I couldn't see that shit all the time, but I could hear it. I heard it.
I heard Dune. I heard it though.
I couldn't see the damn sandworms, but I could hear that bitch. I could hear it.
Did you like Dune? I don't know if we talked about that. Did you actually like Dune? I liked it, but like I liked it within a certain context.
It was alright. It was long, and I was like, "Woo, that's a lot for it to be half a book." I don't know if I'm gonna come back.
Half a book.
So
half a book, yo. I liked it, but like.
Also, I'm like, this is they did their best to scrape off the rough edges and the white saviory bits and make it less white saviory-y, but
here's the problem with that, and like I was talking to someone about this. The overall story of Dune very much is the anti-white savior trope, right? Like, and I'm sorry if I'm gonna give away a 40-year-old book series. Turn
away if you don't want.
But like, Paul Atreides brings about global intergalactic jihad, right? That kills billions of people just because he rises to power. And like, that is very much like the central point of what happens. But that don't happen for 2 more books.
Right. I was like, how long is it going to take us to get there? Because if we're doing 2 movies per book,
so
I can't wait that long.
And here's
I
the thing.
Can't wait that long.
I'd be very surprised. Like, we're gonna get, obviously we're gonna get the second part of this to finish book 1, right? But like, how many times have we tried this with long series? What's the likeliness we're gonna get 4 Dune movies? Like, I don't see it, man. I don't know. Maybe we do.
I don't know. I was honestly surprised that we're gonna get 2.
Right. So to get to the point where, oh, okay, I see they did turn this on its head. I don't know that we'll get there.
You said it's 2 more books?
No. There's a gazillion
before we
more
get
books.
to the point that 2 more books.
Oh, no. It happens in the second book. It happens in the second book.
Okay.
But the second book.
That's 3 more movies.
I'm saying.
That's
so
3 more.
It's gonna be, I don't know. But we are getting the TV show or something, right? So maybe
how many good books are out there without white saviors?
So many.
New ones. It's new ones coming out every week.
We are getting Broken Trilogy, right? On TV.
Broken Earth, yeah.
Broken Earth Trilogy, yeah. So we are getting that.
But it's still even more than that. It's so many more.
There's so many more. But,
yeah. And also just not white people using jihad. It's also that. Not all the dark-skinned black people get murdered in your movie. How about that? Let's do some color-conscious casting next time, huh? So if all the dark-skinned black people you cast are only the characters that get murdered,
that's a problem.
Let's think about that. Let's think twice. Not once, think twice. Maybe 3 times if you need to.
Short Girl Chronicle said, but then who would white people relate to? Right. I know, that's a concern. That's very much a concern we have to deal with.
You know what? If you wanna make white people sad in a movie, kill a dog.
Yeah, right. They don't care about killing other white people. They don't care about that because they don't care about that on normal
If
day.
you kill black people, they be like, okay, keep it moving. If you kill a dog, that's it. Marley and Me. Also, sorry, spoiler for Marley and Me. The dog dies in the end.
But isn't that the spoiler for every dog movie, right?
Old Yeller. Except for, Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. They all make it. Sorry, spoiler for that movie too. They all make it back. Everybody makes it home alive. It don't look like it's going to happen, but it does.
Oh my goodness.
Watch it on Disney Plus. We are not sponsored, but we could be Disney Plus.
We could be Disney. We talk a lot of Disney content. Even on Mondays, especially when Tiffy's usually here.
Especially on Mondays.
Talk a lot of Disney. Oh my goodness. Brittany, thank you for joining me on the stream. Coming out of retirement right quick on the streaming because your life is busy times 70,000.
Yep. Yep.
So I appreciate you, especially the
It is
breakdown
over
Oscars.
9,000.
Oh my goodness. I know. Please give your family all the love for me.
Yes,
I miss
you
seeing
do the
y'all
same.
and
I
all
gotta go
that.
get this baby. Right as soon as we get
my baby is old enough where she'll just come downstairs like, I'm going to bed, Dad. I'm going to bed. I'm like, all right, I'll be up in a little bit. Like that's where we at.
He is rolling now, and he is just starting to try to crawl. So,
Whoo. Yo, listen.
it's about to go down.
Yeah. That's one of those like the genie never goes back in the bottle situations.
Yep. No, I really got to go. He is screaming.
All right.
So.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you everyone for tuning into the stream. Thank you, Brittany. Tomorrow I am back with Nicole. We're talking lit stuff. So let's have fun with that. Thank you, Bricks. Thank you everybody in the stream. We will check y'all tomorrow. Peace.